Today I want to share with you a really interesting link building tactic, which has got kind of a digital PR angle to it. But the short answer is basically memes and funny domain names. Let me just show you what I mean in one example. If I go to my search bar and I then type in loser.com, we will then see it actually redirects to Donald Trump's Wikipedia page. So that's already quite funny. Someone's clearly spent a lot of money. Loser.com is big one-word domain name. That must be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they've chosen just to redirect it directly to this Wikipedia page. There's a similar example in the UK. If I put in a word that I can't repeat on YouTube, what we often refer to as seeyounexttuesday.com, that redirects to former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's Wikipedia page. So this is just a laugh. People might share it at the office, that sort of thing. Easter egg some people stumble across, especially if, like me, you're always looking out for these kinds of domain names. This one I discovered basically once I was just bored in the bath and I was just going through basically trying to find profane domain names, just typing in what does a rude.com, swearword.com actually go to. And one of the best ones I saw was basically a charity fundraiser which said, we've owned this domain for years. We don't really know what to do with it. It seems to get quite a lot of traffic. So while you're here, why not donate here to cancer research or whatever it was? But is there an unexpected SEO angle to this? Well, yes. Not so much in the case of the Jeremy Corbyn one, but if we look at loser.com, the one that redirects to Donald Trump's Wikipedia page, then we can see a huge number of really powerful backlinks. So we've got theguardian.com, President pranked as comedian snap up Trump 2024 domain. As of Wednesday, the domain loser.com directed users to Trump's Wikipedia page. We've got time.com, theverge.com, CBC, and you can see these are all flagging as best links according to Ahrefs. These are the same kinds of links we build in the agency, where we want a certain minimum traffic level, a minimum DR level. So for Ahrefs, you can actually adjust how you view these and configure it. So currently it's set to in content, do follow links with a minimum traffic of 500 and a minimum DR of 30. That's actually very close to our own quality metrics that we use in-house, only we go for a minimum traffic of 1,000. So if we just go through here, this just goes on and on. SFGate, thehill.com, SF Chronicle. Now, you might be thinking, what's the actual point of this? Well, you're basically farming DR, you're growing your backlink profile, and they seem to have done this entirely honestly. They wanted to make this statement of redirecting this to Wikipedia, and they haven't done anything with it since. However, I'd look at an opportunity like this, and potentially if I wanted to do something like the weight loss niche or something like that, I could take down that redirect, have all these links pointing at me, and then actually rank that website for something and have all this power built in. Other option is, of course, just keep it as a PBN. You can basically have this high DR site. All the current topical relevance based on these backlinks is all around politics, Trump, loser. So it might be quite difficult to actually rank it for something like fat loss or something like that. But even just as a PBN site, you could just write a page about the history of this domain, about the joke, what happened. So you're still basically making your political statement, but then you can actually put links on that homepage through to wherever you want. Now, what kind of power are we talking here? Well, if we just count, this just goes on and on. So one way or another, this seems to have gone viral at some point. I am quite dubious about these kinds of things now. I read the book Trust Me, I'm Lying by Ryan Holiday. Absolutely fantastic book for basically digital PR, where it talks about so many of these things you see in the media have been planted, and normally by creating fake outrage. So what Ryan Holiday would do something quite provocative on one hand, and he'd then go directly to the people who'd be offended by it and basically pitch it to them, saying, look at what this terrible business has been doing, promoting whatever they disagree with. And then he'd go to the other side saying, look at all this business has made the statement and they got into trouble with these guys, and it all just blows up, creates a media storm, and gets maximum focus on the brand. So there have been plenty of times I've been tempted just to try this out, take a fresh domain, create some sort of false outrage around it, and blow it up that way, see how big you can actually build it. Something political like this is great because, of course, it's so divisive, so polarized. You'll basically get people from both sides of the political spectrum fighting it out all the while still linking to you. So still scrolling down, we're still into the high 70s here. So huge amount of power here. So if I just go to overview, we can condense this down to the good old DR metric, which is 45. So that's a very powerful domain. If I went to an expired domain broker like Odys, I'd be expecting to spend several thousand on that just for the DR. The fact that it's a oneword.com domain name means it'll be worth significantly more than that anyway, just for the fundamental value of that particular name. So that's just one example. Here's another one I've been keeping my eye on for a while. I love it when there's a viral news story and you see some sort of reactive, just person having a laugh, normally a programmer, something like that. So a couple of years ago, you might remember a ship took a wrong turn in the Suez Canal, ended up stuck in the Suez Canal and was a major disruption to international shipping. So that had big impact on the economy, culture, everyone was talking about it. So someone set up a website called Is the Ship Still Stuck? Now we can Google it and it still ranks for that term, it's still live, and you can see this has got a DR of 39. So at the time, it's still live now, but basically at the time it was basically running this sort of data feed where we've got vesselfinder.com, and it was basically showing where the ship is. Quite clever monetization strategy here, some good books on the topic. So there's an Amazon affiliate link there, and then they've just got the latest headlines feed, I think just to populate it with some content. Yep, so just recent news stories around the topic. So quite a simple site to build. Now at the time, it said, is that ship still stuck? And it would say, yes, it's still stuck, until finally it moved and it said, no, it's on the move. So let's have a look at the backlink profile. We've got DR of 39, 627 referring domains. It's still getting traffic even now. So let's have a look in Ahrefs. If we just go to backlinks, so we've got a Wikipedia link there, Business Insider, and you can see why people are reporting this. They're just pointing out this funny fact, and the URL istheshipstillstuck.com was bought by an enterprising developer and is now available. Monday morning, the answer on istheshipstillstuck.com went from yes to sort of. That's Teen Vogue. So once again, if we just sort by DR, and again, lots of Reddit and things like that, let's sort this down to best links only to get rid of all these no-follow social media links, things like that. So we have USA Today, Al Jazeera, Axios.com, Salon.com. So again, I could scroll for a long time before we drop off these really high DR links. Still in the 70s. So lots of power there just from a laugh, a joke. Now, another one I wanted to try is just for a bit of fun. I was fine because I'm a total nerd. Anytime a website or a domain comes up in a film or a TV series, I immediately go and see what's happened to that domain name. And I've often found one of the biggest culprits of this is How I Met Your Mother. And it's seen quite regularly. This was certainly in the true early blogging era. So Barney especially was very regularly setting up these one-page websites trolling his friends. So this blog, Screen Rant, has put together a whole list of them, and I want to know what's happened to a lot of these since. Quite often you'll find in these films and TV series there'll generally be a promotion, a little marketing campaign run around that particular episode or TV series. For instance, fantastic example, SaveWalterWhite.com from Breaking Bad is actually a live website, DR of 51, 1,400 referring domains, 7,300 traffic even today. But now for How I Met Your Mother, how many of these are actually still doing anything? So I'm using my Instant Data Scraper plugin to try and extract all these outbound domains. And we're now going to do an Ahrefs batch analysis. So I'm not quite as confident as I was with the Breaking Bad one, but let's have a go. I have seen some of these while I was actually watching the series still had the actual Barney's website on there. I don't know if that's a fan recreation or whether the original production have just kept it up. Now let's have a look. Is this going to be a disappointment? And no, we're actually seeing a lot of results here. So TedMosbyIsAJerk.com is a DR of 34. Barney's video resume, DR 27. The slapbetcountdown.com, 26. Now, one of these has actually got an IP address and some traffic, and that's the Goliath National Bank. So has that actually been rebuilt, PBN'd or something like that? No, it's still the How I Met Your Mother. So this is all very much written in Ted's words. They've got ads on there. They're not going to be making much from that. What has open account done? Do enter name and email. Am I going to do that? Probably not. Ted Mosby's a jerk. Pretty significant, but it doesn't look like the website is live anymore. Let's just go into the Wayback Machine and have a look. So it looks like it died off around 2021, 22. Let's have a look at January 2012. And yes, looks like the original production version. So Ted Mosby is a jerk. Do not date him. And what's that? 510,000 visitors since 2006. Portraits of Ted. So why am I telling you all this? Yes, for one thing, it's quite funny, but obviously if you're not running a major television series, then it's going to be quite difficult just to build up these kinds of domains overnight with hundreds of thousands of backlinks. But something like Is That Ship Still Stuck? With a bit of technical expertise, you could do that very easily. So digital PR is all about just reacting to news stories. So it'd be very easy to just jump on a trending topic. For instance, a few years ago, I've just remembered this one, the UK Financial Minister Kwasi Kwarteng committed what the media called the kamikaze. I know a few SEO friends who jumped in on that to try and get related domain names. So I can't really see anything ranking at the moment, but there is this kamikaze tax. So only a DR of 5, but it's still got 87 referring domains. And again, very simple little website, just talking about the cost of this particular budget issue. So basically this would be a really easy thing to construct and systemize. Anytime there's a trending topic in the news that's this new word, you can jump on that. I forgot, there's one more. So back in 2012, CERN was testing the Large Hadron Collider, and it just happened to be around the same time everyone was getting paranoid around the whole 2012 Mayan calendar ending. So there was a website of, has the LHC destroyed the world yet? And that just had the simple text of nope. So probably one of the easiest websites ever to build, even in 2012. If we look at the metrics, domain rating of 50, and that comes from 2,200 referring domains. So again, let's have a look at the best links. And again, we're right up in the 80s and 90s, Cosmopolitan, Wired.com, Daily Dot, Escapist Magazine. So not a huge number of high quality links in this case, but still it would not take anyone that long to build this website. Most digital PR is just about being smart, being quick, and reacting in a clever way. And I generally recommend pouring fuel on the fire. I'd love to think every one of these cases was just a pure natural sensation, but especially the Trump one, I wouldn't be at all surprised if someone did it and then actually pitched out a load of journalists, basically pretending to be just an innocent member of the public saying, oh, I was just Googling whatever and I tried this and suddenly this redirects to Wikipedia, even though it was actually them who did it. That's something I've become very cynical about in marketing. When you see some of these just funny stories, generally there does seem to be some sort of advertising, financial promotion aspect to it. So the fact that this just happened to get picked up in the media, I think quite often there's been a bit of a push involved there before. So how would I actually utilize this? This isn't something I've fully exploited myself, just because I've got other projects, but if I had to start from zero, absolutely, I could go through the news, find some interesting trending topics, come up with some sort of funny domain name around them, and just build 10, 20 of these websites, the DR40, 50, that are going to naturally attract these backlinks over time, and then I've got a really powerful PBN. There's loads of videos on my channel about how PBNs work. We're talking about private blog networks where people will be very interested in getting backlinks on those sites. So yes, we all want high quality, niche relevant, topically relevant backlinks, but equally at the same time, certainly industries like casinos, CBD, they'd be very happy to actually just get the homepage link on a powerful domain because there's so much volume and power here. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if you could basically rent out links on the homepage like this for hundreds, even thousands of dollars per year. That's a really common tactic with PBNs where basically, yes, you can just get a guest post inserted quite cheaply, but for the real power, they will give you the option of basically buying a placement on the homepage, the most powerful backlink on that site, and that can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So the result is whatever links you were to place on the page like this, if you've attracted links from Wired, Cosmopolitan, all these major media brands, that power will ultimately funnel down to that site you've linked to from the homepage. So again, think outside the box. Loads of businesses stay at DR5 to 10 and never really do any work to push through and build up that domain rating. You can use an agency like mine. Obviously, I recommend that. We still want high quality, relevant backlinks pointing at your money pages. But equally, on the flip side, just by being smart, you can actually get a lot of power very quickly just by thinking outside the box.